You are as guilty as they are because you were an essential part of that crime. When you went to spend that blood money on sneakers and jerseys, you revealed to the court the value you place on the human life that was taken.
One of the men convicted in the 2018 murder of rapper Xxxtentacion is now appealing his conviction, and his legal team is focusing a lot of their attention on a major celebrity, Drake.
The rival between two of rap music's biggest stars, Drake and Kendrick Lamar, is entering a dramatic new chapter. Drake's company has filed 2 legal actions accusing Universal Music Group, which represents both of the artists, of defamation and illegally boosting Lamar's viral song that targeted Drake, Not Like Us. Lawyers for Drake allege UMG enacted a scheme to, quote, artificially inflate that song.
As I mentioned, Williams is appealing this decision, and a big focus of this is on Drake.
Mr. Onfroy, which I'll refer to him as X for this interview because his stage name was Xxxtentacion, which was the victim in this case. Prior to him being murdered, he had posted on Instagram, if anybody kills me, I'm snitching right now, it's champagne poppy. I'm paraphrasing, but something to that effect, right? So imagine the decedent said prior to his death, if anybody kills me, it's Champagne Poppy, which is Drake's Instagram name. I laid out in extreme detail all of my defense witnesses list, which included many rappers, because at the end of the day, the victim in this case was a rapper. He had feuds, ongoing public feuds with not only Drake, but a lot of rappers that are either signed to OVO or related to Drake in some way, including 600 Breezy, which is a Chicago-based rapper, and a rapper that's from Toronto by the name of, he goes by Top 5, which is Hassan Ali. And I had to lay that all out in detail. The court was fully aware of my theory of defense. Prior to that, I filed a motion to perpetuate the testimony of Livingston Allen, which goes by the name of DJ Academics, because DJ Academics was friends with X and had posted long YouTube, content regarding this beef. He actually posted a YouTube saying that he was on the phone with X discussing the issue and the beef that he had with Drake, and specifically X had either said or posted something about Drake's mom, and he had posted a picture of a Drake lookalike with semen on his face, and he wanted DJ Academics to post it on his own site, and he said, I'm not going to do that. And in that conversation, DJ Academic says that you better be careful, because even though, and I'm paraphrasing again, even though he's not a gangster, you may be pushing him. As a reaction to that conversation, X goes and says that he takes it out off the post off of his website or off of IG, and he says that his Instagram was hacked. I laid that out in my motion to perpetuate the testimony, which a motion to perpetuate testimony is when you have a witness that is relevant to your defense and that lives beyond the jurisdictional limits of the court, and that you feel that you're not going to be able to bring them into court. So I'm basically asking the court to allow me to go to California or wherever I have to go, depose this individual, and now with his deposition, if he doesn't show up, I could use it in my defense or in my case in chief, right? So I did that, argued it to the court, and the court, in a reaction, basically said, I'm not going to grant your motion to perpetuate testimony, just take his depo. Let's just take it. So, okay, fine. I set a notice of hearing, went and served Drake in his castle in Beverly Hills. At that time, James Beard, which is the process server that served Drake, appeared as a witness, and I wanted to show video that he took of the actual attempted service, where it shows Drake's bodyguards or the people that are in front of his house refusing to cooperate. It showed one of Drake's employees kicking the subpoena down the road that leads to his mansion, and the judge didn't allow me to show that. Despite not allowing me to put forth that evidence, the judge did a 180 from telling me to figure it out, coordinate it, take the depo, did a 180, told me, why are you involving him? Granted the motion for protective order, granted the motion to quash my subpoena, allowed, Mr. Cohen to argue California law without having a California expert there, and basically kind of chastised me about, why are you bringing him into it? And as a matter of fact, we had taken the deposition of one of X's relatives regarding this beef, and she denied it. And the court said in open court, even his relative said that it didn't exist. And I said, yeah, well, she's lying because the whole world knows about this beef. So for her to sit here and say that she didn't know about it it's on her credibility. So despite all of this, he does a 180. He not only grants the motion for protective order, basically saying that I can now serve him again.
Okay.
And it quashes the subpoena, but the state attorney, sensing there's blood in the water, says, Judge, I'm going to renew my motion to strike all his witnesses. Okay? Or tennis, no notice. And he says, I'm not going to do that, but I am going to strike Mr. Graham. So he struck in the middle of the trial. He struck Drake from my witness list, which is completely inappropriate considering the history of the case.
Talk to me real quick about why you think the judge did this, because in the appellate brief, and correct me if I'm wrong, there is an accusation that the court might have been biased because of Drake's celebrity status. Correct me if that allegation is wrong, and in your opinion, why do you believe the court ultimately wouldn't allow the deposition of Drake?
I'll say that Judge Usang was a complete gentleman to me, and it was a pleasure to try the case in front of him. I do think that he made various reversible errors, and I think from the beginning he made a lot of calls that were unconstitutional, not legal, this being one of them. I don't want to speculate as to why, but when you're dealing with someone like Drake, which he's not a celebrity, he's a super celebrity. He's like in the stratosphere of fame. So when a judge does a 180 like that, I'll let the viewers or other people figure out why they think that it happened, but I'm not gonna speculate as to why it happened. But
say man, hey man, it's OG Jucario. Now I'm back at you with another one, and I had to come slide on the YouTube block because Drizzy Drake, the Drizzler, is back in the headlines again, you guys. And guess what? This time the Rizzler is now in the headlines for being implicated in the murder of Xxxtentacion's murder. That's right. The rapper, the deceased rapper that went by X, right? He even said that if anything happens to him as far as death-wise, right, to look into Drake, Aubrey Graham, that's his legal name, and said that Drake would possibly be behind the murder if anything ever happened to him, you guys. And shortly after he made that allegation, DJ Academics told Xxxtentacion that might not be a good idea to push Drake, even though Drake is not a gangster, right? Just pushing this guy's buttons, talking about Drake's mother and things of that nature, right? Dissing Drake. And also posting that very, very disrespectful picture of a look-alike Drake with G's and whiz, cheese whiz, as they say, all over this guy, this look-alike's face of Drake's, right? So check this out, you guys. Not only has, Drake been in the headlines for suing the music label that him and Kendrick Lamar share together, claiming and alleging that the music label is inflating the numbers for Kendrick Lamar's They Not Like Us diss song aimed at Drake, right, where Kendrick calls Drake a PDF file, if you know what I mean. And check this out, everybody is saying this is not hip-hop, not ever in the history of rap or hip-hop beef or diss songs has a rapper chose to sue the other rapper and the music label behind the rapper behind the diss song, you guys. Okay, Drake is saying this is defamation and things of that nature. Now, as the attorney explained in that short clip that I played, Drake and the Migos and other individuals had already been mentioned by one of the suspects, right? Allen, who turned state witness, and testified against the other co-defendants in the murder of Xxxtentacion. Xxxtentacion, right? He had already named Migos, and Drake, and other people, right, that could have been allegedly involved. And they looked into Drake, as they said, and all these other people. But check this out. All this stuff was thrown out, you guys. Now, with counsel coming out and speaking about the upcoming appeal of one of the convicted murderers of rapper X, he's saying that his client didn't get a fair trial, you guys. All because the judge did a complete 180. That's right, he did a complete U-turn after he gave the okay to get a deposition from Drake, right? Go at Drake with this line of questioning about his alleged involvement in the murder of Xxxtentacion, right? And then all of a sudden, here you have the judge asking and questioning, you know, the counsel for this convicted murderer now. Why did he want to question Drake? Why did he feel like Drake was even a person of interest, right? And now you have what looks like as if the judge was tainted, like the judge was paid off in some type of way, allegedly, right? To basically strike Drake from being a witness, from being involved in the case at all, you guys. Now, this is, you know, new information, but, you know, as we had already knew, you know, Drake had been implicated by Xxxtentacion himself by saying that, you know, if anything happened to him, Drake is the one that did it, right? And then, you know, the accusations of his social media being hacked, and that's how that message was posted to his social media was, you know, who knows? Was that true or was that cap? And as you heard in those clips, all the particulars are there and they were discussed, right? And as we know, the word is now that Drake is now being, you know, targeted because of this lawsuit that he filed against his music label and Kendrick Lamar, and accusing the label of malicious acts and attacks on him, you know, with his ongoing feud with Kendrick Lamar and siding with his enemy Kendrick during the beef and inflating Kendrick's numbers to make Drake look bad. Now, this right here is looked at as, you know, the reason why Drake is now being implicated during this appeal of one of these convicted murderers of rapper X. Now, many people are saying, just like Diddy shouldn't have went after that alcohol company that he sued, right, Diego. That's when all this problem started, you guys. I mean, that's what many people allege. They're saying that Drake is making the same mistake and has made the same mistake now that he's sued his music label over allegations, okay? And now they're saying that Drake is next on the list because we have proof now that, you know, during this next appeal, that Drake's name is definitely going to be implicated, right? And he possibly could be questioned and made a person of interest, finally, you know, in Xxxtentacion's murder, you guys. And they're saying this is definitely the start of the downfall of Drizzy Drake, the Drizzler Rizzler. Wow. Now, is it my belief that Drake is now being targeted for the murder of Xxxtentacion, all because he went after his music label with these lawsuits behind this Kendrick Lamar diss song, right? Well, I believe that that's a big possibility that he is being targeted, all because of that reason. And, you know, if he is involved in the murder of X, you know, what shall this convicted murderer, you know, of X say in this appeal that could implicate and tie Drake directly into the murder for hire plot? Did Drake actually put the money up to get X knocked off, right? Did he have any kind of communications with any of these guys? Because they said that some of Drake's entourage, right, some of his posse, his homies were in the neighborhood of XXX, you know, days before the murder, right? And now we have all these allegations, and even with one of the suspects, you know, throwing up the same sign, gang sign as Drake. You know, that was implication as well, as far as one of the gang experts was set to testify, but they threw that testimony out. He didn't even get a chance to, you know, put this in the transcripts in court. Now, with the judge striking Drake as a witness in this whole murder case of Xxxtentacion, will this appeal force Drake to give a deposition? Will this appeal force Drake to give his side of the story and have to testify some type of way, you know, if he was involved or not, right? Will he be questioned at all? Is basically what I'm saying. Because, you know, with the judge saying that, hey, you know, you can't include Aubrey Graham, better yet known as the superstar famous rapper Drake, into this whole murder of Xxxtentacion. Now could this appeal finally, you know, put Drake, you know, in the hot seat and make him actually speak about the whole ordeal in its entirety? Well, we just have to wait and see. So y'all keep it locked to OG Jucario TV for the latest in rap, hip hop, celebrity, and urban news. You're watching the Rundown Podcast. I appreciate everybody for spinning with me. I appreciate all my subscribers for sliding with your boy every time. And say, man, hey man, keep hitting that like button, keep hitting that subscribe button, and look, turn on post notification so we can slide whenever I get the drop. You already know what it is, man. It's deeper than Buddha, her, you hear me? And guess what? I'm gone.